Welcome to www.rei-tv.com. I'm Nick. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, whatever else you celebrate. And if you don't celebrate, at least you had a day off or two. So good for you, good for all of us. I'm Nick, thanks for coming. You know, I took the month of December off for all practical purposes, so you haven't seen a new video for a while. That's why I'm wishing you all these happies now. To get them out of the way, I guess I probably owe them to you. It's a new year though, there's new things going on, there's new goals set, and we're pretty fired up. And I'm going to talk a little bit about goals today. You know, whenever you get into January, one thing I don't do is set New Year's resolutions. A lot of people have New Year's resolutions, and I fail miserably at New Year's resolutions. I set like my New Year's resolution for a day. That way I know I can at least achieve it. But I don't think I've ever, I've always said I'm going to lose weight at a New Year's resolution. One thing I did do, one year I said I was going to keep my seatbelt on in the car. That was my New Year's resolution. I'm wearing my seatbelt all the time. And I did do it. That's the only time I've ever succeeded at it. It really changed my life for the long term. But what the New Year is good for is setting goals, concrete goals, preparing yourself, having your target what you're going to hit that year. And I always think the goals should be pretty big. And I'm going to talk about goals today, like I said. My goal this year, my partner Matt, our goal this year is to do 90 deals in 90 days. Quite hefty, huh? 90 deals in 90 days. It's something I've never done. But, I'm going to need a little bit of help hitting those 90 deals in 90 days. So stick around. In a few minutes, I'm going to tell you how you can get involved with me, become a student partner, and help me hit those 90 goals in 90 days. I can't do it on my own. I could do probably 30 deals in 30 days on my own, but I can't do 90 without a little bit of help pushing me and with me pushing some other people. So, but first off about setting goals. They did a study, I don't know when, and some of these details might be off, but it's pretty close, at the Harvard Law School years and years ago. And they said the study was of graduating seniors, and they followed them over 20 years. And there was 3 different groups. There was a group that at graduation had no real goals. They had ideas of where they wanted to go and that type of thing, but they didn't have specific goals and exactly what they wanted to do. Then there was another group that had specific goals in their mind. They said, I know I want to do this, I want to do that, here's where I want to be in 10 years, here's where I want to be in 20 years. And then there was another group that not only had specific goals, but those goals were written down. Those were specific written goals that they wrote down, and then they tracked these groups over 20 years. Well, 20 years later, when they came back and they saw the results, the first group that had no goals were making the least amount of money by a long shot. I mean, I guess it's not long, it's probably not the right term, but they were making a lot less money than the other groups because they had no real goals. The group that had goals was making more than double the yearly income of the group that had no real goals. And this was over 20 years, something that they started and they put in practice 20 years earlier. So the group that had goals was making double what the group that had no goals was making on a yearly basis. Now the group that had goals but wrote those goals down, they say a short pencil's better than a long memory. The group that wrote those goals down is now making 10 times the income of the group that had no goals. They're making 10 times more money on average. And the only difference was they wrote the goals down. They put it to paper. It's something about making a commitment. I do a lot of posting on some internet forums. And when I first got into this business, I made a commitment on an internet forum for a RIA, a local RIA group that I used to be a part of here in Chicago. My goal was to teach at their next year's seminar. And I put on these forums, I'm going to teach at the seminar next year. And I was just a new investor. I haven't even done a deal yet. Well, I went on my first year, I did 13 deals. And I really think and I did teach at the next year's seminar. And I think one of the reasons, though, was I told the world I was going to do it. I put it out there in front of everybody, so I'd look pretty stupid if I didn't hit those goals. And I said I'm going to teach next year. And I put it down on paper, I said it to the world, and I did teach at that next year's seminar. A lot of the people that were with me, my peers at that first seminar, were still sitting there the next year, and they still hadn't done a deal. Well, I had done 14, 15 in my first year, whatever it is. So not only should you have the goals and write them down, but I believe you should tell the world about it. And that's why I'm telling everybody we're going to do 90 deals in 90 days. Now, as far as how to set your goals, some things that are important. First off, the goals have to be attainable. It has to be something that can be, you can't say, sometime this year I want to walk on the moon. Because unless you're, a NASA space guy and they have the program already in place, it's not going to happen. It has to be an attainable goal. It can't be ridiculous. It can't be impossible. Now it has to be a stretch, but it can't be impossible. It has to be an attainable goal. Secondly, not only does it have to be attainable, but it has to be something believable that you believe you can do. Because, you know, even if you know it can be done, if you don't believe you can do it, you're probably not going to hit it. Because there's people that do, you know, 10 deals, 12 deals a month. Well, maybe you believe they can do it, but you don't believe you can do it. So don't set your goal as something unless you believe it. So it has to be attainable, something realistic, and something that you believe not only is it realistic, but you can hit that goal. Secondly, it has to be a stretch. It can't be so easy. It can't be something you've already done. It has to be something more than what you've already done. So you're moving ahead, so you're advancing in your career, whatever it might be. And then it has to be a specific goal. It can't just be, well, I want to make a lot of money this year, or I want to do a lot of deals this year, or I want to have a good year. It has to be specific. You know, I want to double my deals from last year. I did 12 deals last year, or I did 2 deals last year, whatever. I want to do 4 deals this year. I want to do 8 deals this year. I want to do 1 deal a month. I want to make $200,000 this year. It has to be specific. It can't just be a vague goal. It has to be something specific. And then you have to have a plan to hit it. It has to be something that you could sit out on paper and write it out. Well, here's where I want to be. And sometimes you start backwards. You write the goal here, and then you start over here, and you start writing down what I need to do to hit that goal. And then you have to do whatever it takes. You got to be committed to that goal. Because writing it down does help, even if you never look at it. If you just write the goal down and stick it in your drawer, you will probably do better at hitting that goal. It's been a proven fact. Even if you don't look at that written goal every day, just writing it down helps you do better. But you have to have the determination and the confidence, and you got to go out there and do it. So make sure that the goal is attainable. Make sure it's believable by you that you can do it. Make sure it's a stretch. Make sure it's something you got to work for that's going to advance your career. It's not too easy. Break it down into parts. Making sure it's specific, and then you go at it with a dogged determination. Do whatever it takes attitude. I used to call it a DWIT. You got to do whatever it takes to hit that goal. Now back to the 90-90 that I talked about a little bit. We set a huge goal this year. I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be February, March, April, June, July, August. I don't know. But our goal is to do 90 deals in 90 days. And I'm going to have to take on a lot of people to help me do that. So for the first, I won't say the first time ever, I have partnered. But for the first time on a large scale, I'm going to be willing to partner with students to help get these deals done. Okay. Now I'm working on the specifics. Matt and I have talked. We've got a long list of things to do. It's not all polished out yet, but later this week there's going to be a huge announcement on how you can get involved with me. Now I'm talking now. It's January. Today's January 11th. So if you're watching this in June or July, there might still be room for you, but we might have the goal done already too. So if you're depending on when you're seeing this, but today is January 11th, 2009. Happy New Year. So we set a huge goal. We're going to need some help. I'm going to do something I don't do much. I'm going to take on student partners. I'm going to share everything in mine with you. I'm going to share my scripts with you. I'm going to share my call lists with you. I'm going to share my sheet that I take, everything, my paperwork, everything. And I'm going to take all the responsibility. They're all going to be my deals. So I'm going to sign all the contracts. The only thing the partners are going to have to pay for is some of their own comps, put some signs up, that type of thing. But I'm going to be willing to oversee all these deals. I'm even going to give you an opportunity, if you do decide to get involved with this, to become a coach in the program. Help other people, once you show me that you can do it, and make money on their results. So there's going to be leverage for everybody. There's going to be sharing of money. There's going to be a lot of checks. We got a couple checks here, the most recent December ones. There's going to be a lot more of these coming that we can share in. I also got on jury duty. I got to go to court. Timing couldn't be worse, really. It's right when we're kicking all this off, but I guess it's my civic duty. So stay tuned. Now I'm handing this, the first people that are going to have an option to do this are the folks that are on the free and the primetime members of REI TV. So if you're not on our list yet, if you're not a primetime or an REI-TV member, go to www.rei-tv.com, put your name and email in there, become a member, because those are the folks that are going to have the first shot at participating in our 90 Deals in 90 Days program. Stay tuned. You're going to get an email in a few days, actually tomorrow, that gives you some more details. But the big launch is later in the week. Thanks for watching. I'm Nick. We're going to do 90 deals in 90 days, baby. You're watching REI-TV.com. Now go make 90 offers.